Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, if an exception occurs, will finally block will be executed or not executed? Let me answer this question with theoretical answer and practical demonstration followed by. Okay, first of all, whether an exception occurs or not, the finally block will be executed. Okay, if you are using finally block at the end of try catch block, whether the exception occurs in the try block or whether the exception doesn't occur in the try block, the finally block will be executed. Whether the try block gets executed because of no exception coming, or whether the catch block also gets executed if an exception comes, still the finally block will be executed. No matter what the exception occurs in the try block, or no matter whether the catch block gets executed or not because of an exception, the finally block will be executed no matter what. What is the main purpose of the finally block? You see, when you're writing some code, there will be some objects, okay, where we have to close the objects, guys, okay, so that memory leak won't happen. There will be some objects that you created for some classes, okay. There will be some object references that you create some for some classes, and you'll be observing some warning message given by Eclipse IDE kind of editor saying that this particular object need to be closed once the task is done on the object reference, okay. Once you have utilized the object, you have to close the object. Otherwise, memory leak will happen. We should not wait until the garbage collector mechanism will come and clean the non-closed object. Rather, you close the object as a best practice so that garbage collector will become even more smarter and can clean that particular memory leak happening object in a faster way. Okay. There are a lot of concepts revolving around this, garbage collector mechanism, memory management, and all. We are not going there, but I'm going to tell you in generally we close the object case. Okay. But what if this particular code that you have written, where you have created the object, is inside a try block, and suddenly an exception occurs, and you have written the code for closing the object in the same try block. Because of the exception coming before, the program execution will halt and it will switch to the catch block or something, and the object closing will not happen and memory leak will continue. In such kind of situation, the best practice is that instead of closing the object either in the try block or catch block, try to close in the finally block. No matter what, whether the exception comes or not, the object that is created for a particular class, which results in a memory leak later point of time, will be closed no matter what. That's what is the purpose of the finally block is. You may get different type of questions in the interviews. You may not get the exact question like this. If an exception occurs, will finally block will be executed or not? You may not get like that. What is the purpose of the finally block? They'll ask you in the interviews. Now, theoretically, I explained to you guys, the finally block will be executed irrespective of whether an exception occurs or not, irrespective of whether a try block will be executed or catch block will get executed. But at any cost, the finally block will be executed after the try or catch blocks. If a particular object is, due to some XYZ reasons, is not closed in the try block or something, then it will be closed in the finally block, whether the exception comes or not. Okay, it will not get disturbed, it will be closed. So let me, demonstrate this practically so that you'll understand, what is the purpose of the finally block in exception handling mechanism when you use try catch block and in the terms of closing the object. Okay, so for that I'll switch to the Eclipse IDE, guys. In the Eclipse IDE, I'm going to create a new class. Guys. I'll just right click here and select a new class. I'll just name this class as finally demo. Okay, just give some random name, that's okay. I'm just giving finally demo. Click on main method. Inside the main method, I'm going to create an object for one of the class. That particular object need to be closed once the task is done. For example, here, I'll do something like this. Let's say scanner is equal to, you can take anything. Scanner is one example I have come across. Scanner is equal to scanner, new scanner. Using this scanner class, we can collect the input from the user. Import this scanner class from java.util package, and here provide system.in to collect the input from the user. Okay. And after that, use this object reference. You see already warning message is coming for this scanner object reference saying that the value of the local variable scanner is not closed. Better you close it. Okay, better you close it. Or if this is not the case, guys, if this is not the memory leak kind of case, I'll just go with something like file input stream, where you'll get that kind of stuff. File input stream FIS is equal to new file input stream. Okay, file input stream FIS is equal to new file input stream. You can either go with scanner class also, that's okay. But a better example will be file input stream. Import this file input stream from java.io package here. This constructor cannot be empty. We have to provide the path of the file. You can directly write new file of, give the path of the file that you want to represent or read the data from. Using the file input stream, using the object reference and its predefined method of the file input stream, we can read the text provided in this particular file. So here we have a lot of files. I'll go with arun.txt file here, arun.txt file, okay, which is directly available in that project. I'll import this file from java. Okay, if you are not getting a proper import statement, say Control-Shift-O, it will be imported, guys. You will get this java.io file. Select that. Now you got a kind of, it's the compiler is saying that you have to handle this exception possibility. There is a file not found exception if this particular file is not available at the given path. So it's better that you provide try catch block here. Okay, surround this with the try block. Okay, to overcome that error, you just surround this with try block. In real time, use try catch block. And here, file not found exception, right? File not found. There's a possibility of file not found exception E. And here, write down system.out.println, print out the details of the exception by using the object reference E. Hover the mouse on the file not found and import from java.io package. This is how we implement the try catch block. Now I would like to do something here. FIS dot read method. I'll call the read method, guys, and this will again, there is a possibility of an exception here, IO exception. I'll just convert this into IO exception. The parent exception is IO exception. So import this IO exceptions from java.io package. You see, now this read method is returning you some value. Int n is equal to some print it out, system.out.println char of n, I will say. Okay. Here, n you have to provide, you have to print n, and you have to typecast that into cat data type. I'm just writing some code, guys. I'm just typecasting it. Otherwise, you will get the ASCII number printed here. You have to convert it into the proper character number associated with the ASCII number that is being written by the read method. Okay, I have performed some operation on this FIS DAG. Using this object reference, I have performed this operations. Okay, so over the mouse on the FIS, it's saying that resource leak may happen. FIS is never closed. So I will close this FIS here. For example, I'll close this FIS.close. I will say that's good. Where is this particular FIS.close available in the try block? What if an exception occurs here? Now at this time, nothing will happen. You see, if I run this code, right? If I run this code, just see that the close will happen. Here, close will happen and no exception. You see, M got printed and it didn't went to the catch block. That means exception has not come. In case of exception has not come, what happened? In case of exception has not come, that means the path of this particular file is right, and the things are went well, and because of which the FIS object has been closed. Okay, the FIS object has been closed. We are lucky enough. But what if I give XYZ here? Is there any file with the name Arun XYZ here? No. In this case, this particular file doesn't exist at the given path. In this case, what will happen? This particular line will throw an exception known as file not found exception. And because of the exception thrown at the try block at this particular line 13, the control will go from the line 13 to the catch block here, which is line 17, and it will print the details of the exception. But yeah, we have handled the exception. We have handled the exception. All that is good. We have handled the exception. The exception details will be printed and all. But do you think that this particular object that you created for the file input stream is closed or not? I don't think it is closed, guys. Okay, right click run as Java application and observe that exception has come, because of which the object will not be closed, guys. It looks like because the control will come from this line to this line. So the possibility of the object getting closed is not going to happen. This particular lines will be skipped from execution because the control, once the exception comes at this particular line, control will go to this line. So to overcome this problem, I'll write the finally block, guys. In the finally block, I'll close this. Okay, in finally block, I'll close this. No matter exception comes here or not, the finally block will be executed. I'll make this global so that this FIS can be accessible. FIS is equal to null, and here I'll remove the double declaration here, and just see that what will happen this time. If an exception occurs here, still the execution will go to the finally block, and finally block will be finally block will close the object reference, object of memory leak thing that is happening with this object of the file input stream. Okay, here already some other thing is coming again, surround with try catch block. This is what we have to do, guys. IO exception or something. Okay, that's it. Either FIS.close will happen or IO exception will happen, whatever that is. Okay, so run this code and see what is happening. Right click run as Java application. This is how we have to write the code, guys. There are two types of exceptions coming. Null pointer exception is also coming. So what we'll do is here we'll write the code, guys. Here in the try block, we'll write if FIS is not equal to null, then only you try to close. Otherwise, you don't try to close. That way we can improvise a program, run as Java application. This time will not get the exception. Only this exception will come. First exception, file not found exception will come. And if the FIS is not null, it will not close. Okay. It's not created, so it's not a problem, guys. Okay. So sometimes what happens is the file path is correct, but in FIS.read or whatever it is not wrong. It's not right. Okay. There's no particular text in whatever that is. Okay. Because of we are getting some another exception or whatever it is. So here the simple concept of about the finally block is that whether the exception comes or not, the finally block will try to close this particular object, guys. Okay. No matter what, the object will be tried to be closed. For example, here there is no problem. There is no problem. Assume that there is no problem here. For example, there is no problem here. So here I'll say int a is equal to 10 divided by 0. Int a is equal to 10 divided by 0. Now this is correct only. This will not give any exception. But there is a situation where this will result in an exception, right? This will result in an exception, and the exception will come here. You see, after the object has been created, for the file input stream, then the exception will come at the 16th line. Because of this exception, the control will go here. I'll write exception here. Otherwise, okay, the exception will be handled. But since the object has already been created for the file input stream, the control, here, because of the next line exception, FIS.close will not happen here. If you write FIS.close, it will not happen here, guys. The code will not be reachable here. FIS.close will not happen here. To overcome this kind of situations, we have to write the finally block. If FIS is not equal to null, then only close it. Okay. Otherwise, don't close. So this particular arithmetic exception will come here, and because of which the object created will do memory leak. The memory leak should be closed. In order to avoid the memory leak, we have to close the FIS.close. That should happen in the finally block. And here in this example, this is a perfect example, guys. Whether the exception comes or not, we'll go to the finally block and we'll close the object of this FIS. Okay. Now run the code, right click run as Java application, and observe that what is happening. You see, arithmetic exception came, but still it has closed the. Let's find it out whether it has closed or not. Okay. Here I'll give a print statement saying if you are going to the if block means FIS has been closed. Okay. FIS object is closed. Okay. I'll just print it out so that we can know what is happening. If the arithmetic exception comes, irrespective of the exception comes or not, FIS object is getting closed. Okay. That's the reason, guys, we have to use the finally block. So this was perfect example, guys. Is one of the perfect example to write when someone asks you to show you one particular example where you use finally block. You can take this example, guys. You may get questions in a different way. What is the purpose of the finally block? What will happen if an exception occurs or occurs? What will happen if an exception occurs? Will the finally block will be executed or not? What is the purpose of the finally block? A lot of things will be coming for you. A lot of questions will be coming for you. So if you know the knowledge, if you have the knowledge of this finally block, why you are writing that, irrespective of whether the try block gets executed or exception comes and a catch block gets executed, irrespective of that, finally block will be executed. Okay, whether you control is from the try block will come to the finally block. If the control go to the catch block also, it will come to the finally block, and the purpose is to close the objects, which will result in memory leak. Okay, in this case, because of the arithmetic exception, already the object is created for the file input stream. But because of the arithmetic exception here, the control came to the catch block, and in the finally block will be executed no matter what, and to close the object. Okay, so memory leak will not happen in rare cases, in bad cases. So guys, if you want to practice this program, you can take a screenshot of this. So I'll just wait for you to take the screenshot. You just practice this program and try to understand the concept in a more better way. Hope guys you have taken the screenshot for this code. So with practical demonstration and theoretical explanation, I have explained you the answer for this particular question. You may not exactly get the same answer in the interviews as I told you again and again. You may get in different ways. Okay, but this knowledge will help you in answering all the different type of questions surrounding the finally block. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye.